How's it going, everyone? Welcome to this week's Q&A. And like every other week, if you want a chance at one of your questions being answered, make sure you drop a comment down below, and I'll try to get to each and every question, either in the form of a response in next week's video, or I'll respond to that question directly, or I'll make a self-dedicated video for that question. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the first question of the week. And it is, at what mileage should you be changing your transmission filters as well as your fuel filters? So for the transmission filters, most of them, you have one that's external. And this being Honda, of course, some of them they look in different forms. Some of them are inline filters. Some of them just go inside the transmission, although they are serviceable. My personal opinion, I like to change them every 60,000 miles or so. Fluid every 30. Filters every 60 in most cases. So that would be my recommendation. So as far as the fuel filter goes, these cars no longer have some sort of an inline filter. They do have a strainer in the fuel tank, and we don't normally recommend those because obviously it is labor intensive, and you have to remove the fuel tank, the fuel pump out, which is accessible. Normally you don't have to remove out the whole fuel tank, although it is still labor intensive. And, just something that we normally don't recommend. Now, if the car has over 100K, it's not a bad idea. It is a strainer, so it's like a sock that goes on the pump itself. And if you're using alternative fuels, then absolutely, I would recommend replacing those at that point. If you're using some sort of ethanol or anything of that nature, I would probably recommend replacing that pretty frequently, maybe once a year, every 6 months, depending on how often you're using some sort of ethanol for an E-blend or full, E85, whatever the case may be. But for a normal person, if you change it every 100,000 miles, it would probably be okay. If you don't even change it, as long as you're using good quality fuel and from a good reputable station, most cases you will be okay. So hopefully that answers a question for you. All right, so next question is why did my vehicle fail inspection when there is no check engine light? So these cars have a DTC monitors, and that is in place of people trying to do tricks and stuff, trying to get around, certain codes and stuff to pass emissions. So if you have replaced your battery within a couple days or even weeks, or if you have a code that you cleared and you went to the DMV, then those monitors aren't going to be set. And if they do set by that time, if you do have an issue, it's going to set a DTC. So for that reason, these monitors are set in place, and you have to do different scenarios of driving conditions to set most of these. Some of them set almost immediately. Some others, like the catalytic converter ones, will take a while to set. So you can't just clear the light and go to the DMV, because it will fail for that exact reason. And that is set so people don't try and fool the system. So if you had a battery replacement, if it died, whatever the case may be, anytime any of those scenarios happen, it's going to reset those monitors, and it will take a couple of drive cycles to get them to set, and then you could go to the DMV. So hopefully that answers the question for you. So the next question is, will my warranty be voided or valid still if I do my own maintenance, or you get your maintenance done elsewhere? So no, it will not be a Honda or Acura. Any manufacturer just can't deny a claim because you don't maintain your vehicle at their facility. So as long as you have a decent track record of maintenance, and you can prove that you have done some maintenance, in most cases, there won't be any issues. Even if you don't have maintenance, then they're still going to warranty almost everything in most cases. So now, of course, if you went somewhere else and they put the wrong fluid in the transmission, for instance, then yes, that was self-inflicted by either you or whoever did the work, and in that case, it won't be covered. But if you're just simply maintaining the vehicle yourself, you're handy, you want to save some money, you like doing it, whatever the case may be, then you could go ahead and do your own maintenance. And if you have some sort of a warranty relatable item, you can still take your car to your dealership and have that part warranted, as long as it wasn't broken intentionally or broken by mistake, or the wrong fluids or parts or whatever the case may be. Obviously, if you replace a part with an aftermarket part, we see this a lot with catalytic converters. At that point, Honda does want a core back, and we cannot send a core back that is not a Honda item. So in that case, that wouldn't be covered. You can still get it done, just warranty won't be picking up the tab for that instance. So hopefully that answers the question for you. So the next question is also another warranty related item, and it is if you're concerned about having quality work done for a warranty repair. So this question was specific to an issue with panoramic roofs making noise, and you had to go in there and I think believe make some adjustments or retorque some stuff. So anyways, this would apply to any warranty type of situation. So in this case, the headliner has to come down, and this person's obviously concerned with scratches, bends on the headliner, and getting dirty or whatever the case may be, something getting broken. So if you're concerned with that, as you should be, if you're getting something warranted, it should come back the same way that you left the vehicle in, right? It shouldn't come back damaged or dirty or whatever the case may be. Have the conversation with your advisor. Tell them that you're concerned. You want everything as done as neatly and as properly as possible. And they shouldn't have an issue with that. They're probably at that point gonna give it to their best technician because you voiced your opinion and your concerns with that particular issue, and they don't want to give it to somebody who's going to hack the job. There is plenty of dealer techs out there who are hacks and probably shouldn't be working on a dealer or a car at all, even outside the dealer. But regardless, there's these technicians there, and it just it happens all the time. So yes, voice your opinion. Tell them you're very concerned, you're meticulous, you bought a car, it's your car, you want it back in the same condition that you dropped it off in, and you're going to be inspecting this after the fact. And they're, once again, going to give it to a dispatcher or hand it out themselves, whatever system they work in or with. And they're going to make sure they have a conversation with that technician that, you're looking for nothing but quality and excellence, as it should be all the time. But they're going to be extra meticulous, and hopefully you get the car in the same exact condition with the issue fixed as you dropped it off in. So hopefully that, answers the question for you. All right, last but not least, question of the week. And it is, will there be a long-term reliability if you drive the car both hard and under normal conditions? So yes, just because you're mixing it up doesn't mean it's gonna last any longer. So anytime you drive any vehicle harder, or you use any machinery harder than it was intended to, then yes, there's going to be short-term issues and long-term issues as well. So just because you're driving it hard 90% of the time, and then normal 10% of the time, doesn't mean that you're avoiding issues because you're being nice to it 10% of the time. Now, me being an enthusiast myself and liking to go fast, modifying stuff and making more power, I know this, and I expect issues a little bit on the premature side. Now, obviously, I pay extra attention to proper maintenance and aggressive maintenance, as you should. I use a proper fuel. If you're trying to go hard, if you drive hard, there's no reason that you should be neglecting any sort of maintenance and be using cheaper than optimal fuel. So 93, 91 or better. 93 in my case. I even have 94, but not every station here has it. So I try to stick to 93. Fluids, you got to stay on top of them. Rotates, spark plugs. Everything is going to wear out in a much faster state, especially when you start adding or multiplying power. Even if you are, just have, let's say, a Civic Si, and it's completely stock, your clutch is going to wear out more, and everything else will still wear out more, suspension, mounts, etc., just because you're driving a vehicle harder. Not that you can't, you just have to expect that things will, get worn out quicker. So obviously, in my situation, I drive the car hard, maybe 20 or 30% of times. Normal circumstances, I'm stuck in traffic anyways on my commutes to and from work. So I can't even drive hard, even if I wanted to. But, again, anytime you're driving this vehicle or any vehicle hard, there will be some, more wear and tear, which is okay. Just make sure you expect that and you're open-minded and you're maintaining the vehicle properly for those situations. So that's the end of this Q&A. Once again, make sure you drop a comment down below with your question, and I'll try to get to each and every question in a timely manner. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one.